evening. I hope everybody had a great weekend. You were able to rest and spend some time with your family and friends. We've got a big week coming up, and so we're going to start with just some celebrations that we've had over the past couple of weeks. The first celebration is October. It has been so successful. We have met our goal and now I've doubled it. We've had high school students from the student council to the freshman football team donating. And some of our students were able to go to Kicks 105 this week and recorded a PSA to thank the community as well as asking for more donations. I'll let them tell you a little bit more about it.
At Bercalo Elementary, we are joining the worldwide effort to help the homeless this month and are inviting you to join us in October. This month, we are concentrating on something simple, socks and food.
We have now doubled our goal and are hoping to collect at least 400 pairs of new socks and 400 non-perishable food items to donate to the homeless in our community.
So help us out and drop all donations off at Bercalo Elementary located at 1009 Live Oak.
The time to be awesome is now!
I have so enjoyed going into the classrooms to see the objective anchor charts you're making. Above are just a few of the examples that I've seen in every classroom. I hope that you're using this as a teaching tool not only for your students but for yourself. It's a great way to remind yourself of that academic vocabulary and what depth and what rigor you're to be teaching the tech to. Don't forget to turn any security or safety concerns you have in. Chief Jose asked us for those when he went over the safety audit with us. I've received a few from you, but I'd like to get them into him by Friday. This month is Dyslexia Awareness Month. Last week, Ms. Horn had 504 meetings with all of our parents, and most of our 504 students are dyslexic students. She gave you the accommodations for your students. In conjunction with Mary Gill, you and her are to provide these accommodations for the child. But some of us don't know a lot about dyslexia, including me. So here's a quick tutorial on dyslexic students and how we can help them in the classroom. The following is a passage about dyslexia. I want you to assume that I will be asking you a comprehension question or two when you are done. You have 1 minute. Ready, set, go. How was that? Did you stumble on some of the words? Did you skip words or substitute with whatever or something? Based on experience, I'm going to guess that it was not easy for you. I'm also going to guess that if I ask you to read this in front of your peers who are prone to judge you, you'd feel anxious. I'm also going to guess that if I ask you to tell me what you learned from this passage, you wouldn't be able to recall any important information. You have just experienced dyslexia for 1 minute. During that minute, the passage slowed you down and forced you to pronounce words that didn't seem to make any sense and weren't familiar. You knew why they were wrong, but you read them anyways. And how about the time factor? Did you feel pressed for time? If you were in a classroom full of your peers and I asked you to read this aloud, then ask comprehension questions, would your heart rate go up? Would you suddenly have to use the restroom? Or perhaps you'd need to go to the nurse with a stomach ache? This is dyslexia. So what can you do as a teacher of students who have dyslexia? First things first, let's get rid of a few myths and misconceptions right now about dyslexia because I even had these misconceptions. Dyslexia is not seeing letters or words backwards. In fact, reversing letters and words is developmentally normal through the first grade, and we know that some of our students are lagging behind maturely and academically into the first grade level. Dyslexia is not outgrown. You don't outgrow it. It is not a result of laziness or lack of motivation, and it is not a visual issue. It is often said that dyslexia is an umbrella term when in fact it has a very specific definition. The International Dyslexia Organization says that dyslexia is characterized by difficulties with accurate and or fluent word recognition and by poor spelling and decoding abilities. These difficulties typically result from a deficit in the phonological component of language that is often unexpected in relation to other cognitive abilities and the provisions of effective classroom instruction. Secondary consequences may include problems in reading comprehension and reduced reading experience that can impede growth of vocabulary and background knowledge. Most students with dyslexia will receive the reading and writing help they need outside of the general ed classroom, but there are many things a general ed teacher can do to help students with dyslexia not only avoid situations but to thrive in your classroom. Now that you have a better understanding of what dyslexia is and is not, it is important to know how you can help a student with dyslexia in your classroom. The best way, aside from actual intervention, like going to Marygale, is to provide and understand the accommodations that they need to be successful. Remember, these are the students that are capable of learning, and many are intellectually gifted. Their academic struggles are unexpected in relationship to their innate ability to learn. It cannot be overstated that students with dyslexia are capable of learning to read and write when given the appropriate interventions. This intervention should be structured and multisensory. It should be an explicit instruction of the underlying structure of English, and it should be informed by linguistics. For many of these dyslexic students, these accommodations that you're providing in the classroom can be the difference between academic success and academic failure and frustration. So let's look a little bit at some easy accommodations that you can use in the classroom that are either on their 504 plan or you can do individually with the students. Read orally to your dyslexic students. The idea is to make sure that the intellectually capable student is not missing the chance to read this good literature and grade level content just because they are not able to read it doesn't mean they're not capable of understanding it in other formats other than reading. Do not require the students to read it aloud unless they volunteer or have had opportunity to practice. Provide notes ahead of time or allow students to record what you're doing. I prefer giving them an outline so that they have something to follow, and there's a great app called the LiveScribe Pen that's a fantastic tool. Allow the students to verbally respond to short answer and essay questions as well as dictate longer passages if you're having trouble reading or understanding what they are trying to say to you. Dyslexia affects writing as much, if not more, than reading, so their struggle with writing can often mask their actual thoughts. I do realize that they have to write on things like the STAR test and CBAs, but when you're checking for understanding, orally may be a good way to know if they're actually getting the content or if it's their disability that is keeping them from giving you that information. Do not mark off for spelling. Grade written assignments based on content only. Now, this doesn't go for spelling tests, and they are working diligently on learning all their spelling rules. But don't fail a student that's dyslexic on an assignment because of their spelling. Remove time limits from testing and other timed situations. For dyslexia students, timing is not a good thing, so let's try to keep that in mind in the classroom. Give multiple opportunities for success. If a student who struggles in reading and writing are better at science and math and are artistic or physically active, you can motivate them by showcasing their talents in other areas. It may be the one thing that the teacher does to save those students' interest in school. You may be the math teacher, but the child may love to read, or they may be excellent in music. Always find that shining star or that spark that makes them successful and make sure you use that to build the relationships and make the connections with your dyslexia students. The bottom line, dyslexia is real, and we see it here every day at Burcalo Elementary. We have a wonderful dyslexia therapist in Marygale who's helping our students to be successful. But that also means every classroom teacher is going to have the opportunity to positively change the lives of these dyslexic students. By taking the time to understand what their problems are with dyslexia and then provide those accommodations so that they're able to access information and capable of learning. So we appreciate Marygale, we appreciate all of the teachers and our support staff that help these students be successful at Burcalo Elementary. Now we're going to take a little time to talk about our lesson thinking maps. Here you'll see an example of a reading thinking map. The first thing on the map is the T's. This teacher has gone through and highlighted that it's a readiness standard, has pulled out all of her verbs and nouns and vocabulary just like it would be on the objective anchor chart. She's put down her process standards, and because it's reading, we know that that's figure 19. And then the introduction. Students will view a vocabulary video over figurative language and will have a review of poetic devices. New terms will serve as their vocabulary for the week. Once the introduction lesson is done, then it's Are You Ready? The teacher models. This goes back to the I do, we do, you do, or Are You Ready? Get Set, Go model that we've used at Bracalo. To model, this teacher is going to model poetry by reading to students using tone and inflection to emphasize important poetic devices. Before the read, the teacher will read a limerick poem and highlight poetic devices for vocabulary modeling. During the read, the teacher will pause at highlighted words to reinforce rhyme patterns, rhythm patterns, vocabulary, and its usage. After the read, teacher will ask the students to brainstorm examples of poetic devices as the teacher documents it on the anchor chart. She then moves into her guided practice, which is her Get Set, where students will be paired and implement strategies with another poem, and then students will write a poem in their paired groups. Their independent practice will be that students will demonstrate comprehension of these poetic devices by independently completing a poetry unit that they're doing on Thursday. She went through and mapped out what she was going to do that day. This is just a thinking map. In her mind, she now knows what she's going to do as her introduction, as her modeling piece, as her guided practice, and as her independent piece. If you would like a copy of a lesson plan, I'll be more than welcome to share with you. But this is what your lesson plan should look like. Not too detailed, but not just page numbers or putting vocabulary. What are you going to actually be doing with vocabulary? Now, let's look at a math example. This plan has the same things, your TEKS, your vocabulary, your focus process standards, and then it goes into the introduction. This teacher will be reviewing the definition for formula and area, and then asking the students how do they solve a problem where the area is given. The modeling piece, Are You Ready?, is modeling problems on page 298 in their journal. They will model the standard algorithm and show the problem fits into an area model to create a visual representation of the numbers in a division problem. For the Get Set guided practice, the students will be doing page 98 where they'll be dividing decimals by two-digit numbers. They'll work numbers 1 and number 5 whole group on graph paper and place it in the journal, and then they'll do number 6 with a partner and explain the answer. For their independent practice, they're going to work the numbers 4 and 7 independently and work through the answers as a whole group. If reteach is needed, the teacher will do page R65 to build understanding, and the students have homework, page 301 to 302. This is an example of the math lesson. This teacher has looked in advance where they're going to be. How are they going to introduce the lesson? How are they going to model it? What are they going to do as guided practice and independent practice? Yes, there are page numbers, but I know that they're modeling problems on page 298 to put in the journal, and that they're showing the algorithm as well as the area model. I know that as a teacher, the most precious thing you have is time, but I also know that by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail, as Benjamin Franklin said. So when we started looking at planning and thinking maps, I said, what can I do to help these teachers be more successful? What can I do to support them? So I will be providing you with a planning day. This will be a grade level planning day. All of the teachers on that grade level will be out. Miss Mosley has already secured subs for all of you. Thank you, Miss Mosley. And we will be planning with you on November 3rd, November 5th, and November 6th. This will be a day for us to look at the lesson thinking maps, for us to move forward in the curriculum, and try to plan ahead so that we have more time when we're planning on Wednesdays. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions about it, just come see me. Don't forget, if you've not set up your observation, you need to sign up with Beverly. Now, let's start looking at our week at a glance. As I said earlier, this week's a very busy week. Starting on Monday, Miss Mosley and myself will be out. We will be at DEC at 9 o'clock. I will be back at 11 for an observation. We're going to have a book fair preview. Darlene sent that schedule out on Friday, but it's also attached to this email. The library is going to be closed for checkout all week due to the book fair, and so you should have gotten your students into the library last week. Remember those changes in the books that they can only check out 3 books at a time. All the reading teachers will be administering the STAR reading test during their library time this week in the computer lab, which means that their iStation will have to be done in the reading lab on the laptops. If you have any problems, please see Miss Mosley with this. Tuesday, I have an observation at 8:30, and I'll be around campus doing walkthroughs and various other things. Wednesday, we are having a Wednesday planning schedule, but myself and Coach Bynum and Miss Wilson will be gone with 18 students to the Run for the Panthers at the Lufkin High School. It's from 9 to 11, and we bring 6 grade level representatives with us. We'll have a PLC meeting, which is actually going to focus on our Fall Festival information so that we can finalize some things with the Fall Festival. And then on Thursday, I have a 9 o'clock observation. Our report cards will go home on Thursday, and our Fall Festival will be from 5 to 7:30 on Thursday. On Friday, Halloween, I have an observation from 11 to 12, and because it is the 5th Friday of the month, we'll need each grade level to send 3 representatives for card duty. Don't forget that all grades have to be in the computer by midnight Monday night. Report cards will go out on Thursday. Your personal parent contacts are also due on Monday, as well as your lesson plans if you did not get them in on Friday. On Wednesday, I would like a list of all your failure students. If you could email that to me, and I'll be meeting with those students. On Thursday, we have PLC meeting minutes. Because we're doing a group PLC meeting, those will not be due. Friday, your lesson plans are due, and also your safety wish list item for Chief Jose. We've got quite a few upcoming events. We've got the Run for the Panthers. We've got the teacher observations. Red Ribbon Week is this week. November 11th, we'll be having the Veterans Day program at 1:30. On November 12th, we'll have Rotarians from Lufkin Rotary Club coming to read. And November 12th, we'll be having an early release day and doing staff development in the afternoon. This is your week at a glance. Make sure that if you have not signed up for a booth that you do that Monday morning. Make sure you also have all the pieces to your booth as well as any prizes you'll need. We need that turned into Miss Allen by Wednesday if you are missing something or you need prizes for your booth. Next week is also Red Ribbon Week. Monday is Wear Red for Red Ribbon Week. Tuesday is Texas time, wear your jeans and boots. Wednesday, put a cap on drugs, wear a cap. Thursday, my future is drug-free. Students can wear a college t-shirt or dress up of what they want to be when they grow up. And Friday is we're positively drug-free. So these are the days that we'll be participating in. Here's a little pep talk to get your week started off right.
I think we all need a pep talk. Who am I kidding? This is not gonna work.
Oh, do not say that.
Grover, what are you doing here?
You just need a furry blue monster to help you instead of a puppet. It is cute, though. What is it, a sock?
Yeah, because it's October.
Well, wait a minute. What is Socktober?
Socktober's about helping the homeless.
Wait a minute. Homeless?
Yeah.
You mean there are people out there who do not have a warm place to sleep at night?
Yes. Not only do they need houses, they need friends, too.
Well, I am a very good friend.
Yes, you are, Grover.
Oh, well, what can a cute and furry monster do?
Well, you can help me with a pep talk.
Aha!
Some things in life are not easy, like eating with a fork.
Or getting your hand stuck in a snack container. Can you help me with this?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Trying to act cool when your favorite song comes on the radio. But helping the people around you?
That is simple.
It's easier than you think. You don't have to have all the answers.
You do not have to be super strong, like me. See that?
You just gotta show up. Every person
And every monster.
matters.
It is true.
Sometimes I think I'm too short, but you know what? Life's too short to worry about being too short, but you're never too small
Or too blue and furry.
to make a big difference.
Together, we can change everything.
Everything.
All of the things.
Be like cheese and bacon and make everything else you touch better.
Now I am hungry.
I am too, Gopher. I am too. Let's make everything better.
I believe in you. You can do it.
There are over 7 billion people in the world. That's a lot of people. And all of them need help sometimes.
Help? Did you say help? I live to help.
That's because you're a really good friend, Grover.
Aw.
Sometimes life is tough, but so are you.
Do not give up.
Did Ernie give up when his rubber ducky stopped squeaking?
No.
Did Big Bird give up when he noticed he couldn't fly?
No.
Did Cookie Monster give up when his cookie jar was empty?
Actually, wasn't that his fault? Never mind. Let's get to it.
What are you doing?
I'm making a pep talk with you, remember?
Oh, not you, Gopher. The people who are watching.
Oh, they are watching the internets.
There are almost 600,000 people who are homeless in the United States.
But we are all here to help.
That's right we are, Grover.
People who make the world better for other people are some of the best people.
It's cool we're on the same planet at the same time.
Let us all be friends.
It's our time to show the world what awesome looks like. KP out!
Grover out! What do I do? Just go under the table here? What?
Yeah, that's what you do, man.
Okay.
I'm still under the table. This October, we want 2 million people to help their neighbors who are homeless. You can share this video, hold a sock drive, get your whole town involved. Share the story. Kids can help, grown-ups can help. We can all do something to make October awesome. Go to happysoctober.com, find a homeless shelter near you. Yeah, you just hide under the table, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do we come out?
Well, we just wait until they say cut, so.
Oh, okay.
Cut! Okay.
Well, I heard somebody say cut.
It's our time to show the world how awesome Brook Hollow is. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.